The Dogs, in association with the Greyhound Board of Great Britain. Well, hello and welcome to The Dogs and this review of 2009, and one man stood out above all. The trainer, of course, a champion trainer, Mark Wallace, will review his outstanding year and catch up with all the other great races.
The first televised Sky final was the Prestige won by Hawk's Dilemma for Seamus Cahill at Hall Green. Just up the road at Perry Bar a week later, Derby favourite Fears of Phonic, who just smashed the Wimbledon track record in a trial, lined up in the Birmingham Cup.
The Derby favourite, Fears of Phonic, is going to start the year with a bang. He wins the WilliamHill.com Birmingham Cup and wins well.
A great start to the year for Charlie Lister, who then took Fears of Phonic to Wimbledon for the Racing Post Juvenile Championship. The main danger to him was Barry Draper's Baherna Best, voted top 4-bend performer of 2008. Also in the lineup was Deanridge Fury, who'd beaten Fears of Phonic in the Manchester Puppy Cup.
The Racing Post Juvenile Championship is underway. Fears of Phonic breaks fast. Baherna Best goes with it. Baherna Best and Fears of Phonic, the big two. They get round the bend almost as one. Fears of Phonic with the beauty of the inside has got the run now of Baherna Best. After he's back in third comes five. That's Deanridge Fury. They're away from two. Droopy's Kes as they come round the second last bend. Something happened to Mono Star, but as they come round the final bend, it's Fears of Phonic by 2 lengths here from Baherna Best. It's Fears of Phonic. He is absolutely cruised up in the end.
Fears of Phonic showing his love of the inside rail at Wimbledon when winning the Juvenile Championship for Charlie Lister.
Charlie's great rival Mark Wallace kicked off his outstanding 2009 in the Stan James Springbok at Wimbledon.
Bomber Bailey had already been schooled over the hurdles and was looking promising when Mick Pusey had him. Obviously with Mick retiring and everything, the owners Barry and Keith and Neil decided to send him to us, and it was a decision that bore fruit for both of us. The final itself, again, it's something that we've had great pleasure in all year long. He was just electric in the final, and 27.96 I believe the final time was, and it was a performance out the top draw.
Away they go with three. Lovelinks is out fast, moves up the middle of the track. Bomber Bailey's out quite well. Nebuchadnezzar lying in about 5th place at the moment and just chopped for racing room as they head down the far side. Bomber Bailey out front. Deanridge Casper running big for Paul Young. After these comes 3 Lovelinks. They head down the far side. Still the lead with Bomber Bailey by 2.5 lengths as they come round the final bend. It's Bomber Bailey from Lovelinks now into second. After these back in third comes Deanridge Casper over the last. A professional dog done by Bomber Bailey. He wins the StanJamesUK.com Springbok final.
He's been a difficult dog to keep sound, and he's had his moments. I believe he's had 3 track records since the Springbok victory, Harlow, Henlow and Sheffield, and he also lowered the colours of Platinum Lance a lot later on in the year. But he's still not an old dog, and as I said, he come off lame from that last run when he beat Platinum Lance a lot, and he's sound now, but we're just going to keep him fresh for next year because we believe he could still have a tremendous next year, and obviously the Grand National being his main target.
It was Swindon next for Team Wallace, it all coming right on final night of the Blue Square Arc after heavy snow had played havoc with the schedules.
Swindon had done marvellously well to get the competition underway and through it, and to run on time in the end, and conditions on the night were fine and the track was running well. Corrig Vieri was brilliant all the way through it and was a deserving winner of the final.
Shane Boy Luke back from 6-4 to even money on track. Away they go, it's walks out. 4, Grilla Guru's out fast, going to pace up here, he's going to try and lead him up. After he's racing in second comes 2, Corrig Vieri, who gets a nice run into second, and there's a big runner here. Corrig Vieri for Mark Wallace goes on. 3, Lenson Express moves up into second. Grilla Guru's got no more to give. After this comes Mr. Colonel. They go around the second last bend. Corrig Vieri still in front, leads here by a length from Lenson Express. Then comes Mr. Colonel. And going away is Corrig Vieri to win for Mark Wallace, and wins by a length and a half. Lenson Express for second, back in third, Mr. Colonel.
It had been a great start to the year, but it was about to get even better for Imperial Kennels. A young dog called Kinda Ready had won Sky supporting races at Hall Green and Perry Bar, but this emerging superstar was now upped in class for the Ladbrokes Midland Puppy Derby.
The final was billed as one of the best ever Monmouth Puppy Derbies. The track records going in the semi-finals, and there was 6 top puppies there. Kinda Ready was representing us, had done nothing wrong in his heats and semi-final, and looked to have a reasonable chance on in the final itself.
Heading down the far side, and Bandicoot Topoki suddenly shot 2.5 lengths clear. Kinda Ready off in chase. After these comes Freedom Emma. Then we've got to break back to Magna Venturers. They come around the second last bend, and Bandicoot Topoki, the 4 to 5 favourite, setting sail for home here, has a 2-length lead still. Kinda Ready, though, is clawing its way back into the race. Bandicoot Topoki will hold on, though, and win the Puppy Derby here.
It was a brilliant race, and 2 dogs running at the top of their form.
Had you been inside Bandicoot Topoki, would you have fancied yourself?
I think that's a case of it could have gone a different way. That's something you'll never know. But yeah, I think if he had been drawn the other way, you could have seen a different result.
There was no doubting the winner of the Trainers' Championship meeting at Sheffield, with Farlow Reason the last of 6 winners at the venue for Charlie Lister. It's amazing, as Charlie's only other runner was second. Drink Up Zorro gave Paul Salis success in the William Hill Pall Mall at Oxford, while Seamus Carhill scooped another big prize in the Grand National with Hot Dog Jack, who'd won the Springbok in 2008. The Irish took centre stage in the iBetX.com Scottish Derby with 5 of the 6 finalists. Glory went to Cabra Cool for trainer Pat Buckley. Blonde Fern flew the flag for the fairer sex in the blue ribbon at Hall Green, giving Tony Dean and Mark Currell success. In the Regency at Hove, Laurie's Options, who'd already won the Golden Jacket at Crayford, won another valuable prize for Dean Childs. Whilst the youngsters at Peterborough were led home by Barnfield Rocky for Sam Poot in their Puppy Derby.
Attention now focused fully on the Blue Square Derby, and Mark and his team sent a strong squad to Wimbledon for the Premier Classic.
The Derby was billed as being one of the best ever, and there was some awesome older dogs in it. The Irish contingent were there. Kinda Ready, tipped it by Peter Meldrum, obviously, was given a live chance, and he was a genuine outsider at 66 to 1, but one that you could have certainly fancied. We'd laid him off after the Monmouth Puppy Derby, you know, with a conscious effort to keep him relatively fresh for the Derby and to try and bring him on as much as we could during the Derby. So in the early rounds, he obviously wasn't at his full peak. He'd won very well in the second round, and but as the competition went on, he just got better and better. I don't think people can give him enough credit for the way he ran, particularly in the semi-final. And you know, he qualified quite comfortably into the final in the end. It's not like he just scraped through or anything, but we could see that he was getting better and better, and he was peaking at the right time.
Mark had seen Joggerdas Ace reach the semi-finals before bowing out, but the ultra-consistent and improving Kinda Ready was given trap 5 by Big Mac. It ensured Kinda Ready would start at big odds for the Derby final. There was little pressure on Mark, and he and his wife Sarah, headman Patrick Janssens and partner Cheryl headed off to the Derby lunch at the appropriately named Greyhound pub in Surrey. It was all part of Derby week.
Sadly, just couldn't come quick enough for us, and even the build-up to the final on the night itself was tremendous. You know, Darren and Chris and Gary and Lee had hired out the Diamond Room, and we'd virtually got near. I think there was at least 100 supporters there from Darren and from our kennel as well, all wearing orange rosettes and everything, and there was a real sense of fun on the night, and everybody intended to enjoy the night, whatever the result.
So take us through the race itself then, Mark. Did you join the Derby Roar beforehand?
Oh yes, always get involved in that kind of thing. It's, as I said, I was so looking forward to the race. When the dogs came out the traps, he collided straight away with trap 4, Glenard Sunrise, and I thought that was the end of that. But when he turned second to Fierce Phonic, obviously you think first, well, he's not going to be last, he's not going to disgrace himself. And then going towards the third bend, you think, can he catch him? And then obviously the rest is history.
It's Fierce Phonic, some 4 lengths clear into the third. a run! Mark Wallace's first greyhound in a greyhound derby final. The champion trainer has usurped Fearsophonic and Charlie Lister, who broke well and led, but what a run from Kinda Ready, the complete outsider at 25-1, has won here at Wimbledon.
I just couldn't believe the way the race was run. I didn't think he had any chance at the first bend. He snicked round on the inside, turned in a good position. I see the one in the front, and I didn't think he could possibly catch that, but what a dog. What a performance that was from him. That was really, truly immense, that was.
Cannot believe he picked Zophonic up, Zophonic being the dog he is. Can't believe it, can't explain it. It's just stuff dreams are made of.
Absolutely, and you guys absolutely lived that dream, didn't you, from the start to the finish of that race?
Absolutely, it's just, I can't believe it. I'm stunned, delighted.
For years and years and years, I'd always walked down that corridor at Wimbledon and seen the plaque with the Roll of Honour of Derby winners, and I think a few weeks after, it was such a pleasure to walk down there and to see my name on that plaque, and I think that's when it finally sunk in what it really meant to me. You know, on the night with the owners there, who'd been massive supporters of our kennel for us, and Linda, to see all our kennel staff there, my wife Sarah, my mother-in-law Linda, you know, all those things, it was as much for them as it was for me.
So Wallace Jr. likely to take over the reins in the future?
Well,
his name on that board?
My son Daniel is he obviously really enjoyed the night that night, and to come do the lap of honour, which is something that we'd always dreamt of doing, he really lapped it up. Whether he took it in and he'll remember it in a few years' time is different. You know, at the moment he's probably more interested in school and football and wrestling than he is in greyhound racing, but who knows what's, you know, might happen in a few years' time.
Our review of 2009 continues after the break. Welcome back to our review of 2009, and what a year it was for Mark Wallace, landing his first Derby win with Kinda Ready. More from the Wallace camp later. At Bellevue in June, Hurley's hero was outstanding when breaking the track record in the Cock of the North for new trainer Jimmy Wright. Whilst at the same meeting, Centaur All-Star went unbeaten in the scurry over the sprint distance for trainer Chris Alsop. The chip crack at Hall Green usually throws up some good pups, and it was Liz and Rav McNair's Droopy's Bogart who stole the starring role. In the TV trophy at Newcastle, Midway skipper won for the veteran trainer Henry Chalkley, whilst over 6 bends, Claude Gardner's He Went Whoosh was pretty gutsy when winning the Cesarewitch.
They come round the final bend, Melody's coming, He Went Whoosh, he can do it both ways! He Went Whoosh came from off the pace to win here and pick up Melody's comment.
6 weeks is a long time in greyhound racing, but Mark Wallace now eyed glory at the William Hill Festival at Sunderland. He watched as the impressive Crown Rover won the £20,000 Grand Prix for Jimmy Wright, the first season handler enjoying his own terrific year. But Mark's reward should Joggered Us Ace win the £40,000 Classic was even more points in his quest to be champion trainer again. It was a brilliant lineup for the Hills-backed event, but Joggered Us Ace played his cards right.
Just a matter of £40,000 to be won here, and there they go, running up towards the first bend. Good start, Compass Mikey, paced up, Joggered Us Ace, and Mario Gomez on the outside, trying to bore in. Oh, there's trouble and bumping there, bad trouble for Compass Mikey and Droopy's Bogart as they head down the far side, more bumping. Joggered Us Ace leads here. Mario Gomez on the outside is trying to take it on as they come around the second last bend. On the inside is Blood of Kings, but it's Joggered Us Ace that's now quicken on for Mark Wallace. Joggered Us Ace has gone 2.5 lengths clear and will win the William Hill Classic for 2009.
Goodness me, you've won the Derby, the most valuable prize in greyhound racing. You've now won the second most valuable.
Yes, absolutely awesome. Thought the dog ran brilliant, you know. Real thrill for the owners. Have to thank Patsy Canavan for giving the boys a chance to buy this dog, as when he was Mountjoy Gold, you know, he sold him and said we wanted to keep him in the kennel, and the boys took a chance at the time buying him, and it's paid off brilliantly for him.
The dog is a superstar, and I genuinely thought after watching the heats in the semi-finals, he had his draw tonight, it was all about his break, and he come out like a firework, and I'm surprised he didn't hear me upstairs when he hit that first brand in front. Fantastic feeling, and delighted for Mark, who really convinced us to buy the dog, and again his judgment's been spot on, so fantastic night.
In the Sussex Cup at Hove, another win for Claude Gardner on his local track with Wraithby Syra. Bandicoot Topoki went on to win the Steel City Cup for Charlie Lister, whilst the Sava and Morton combination won the Stan James Puppy Derby with Westmead Logan. Back at Bellevue, Southwind Harry beat Hurley's Hero and Crown Rover in the Tokesport Gold Collar for Kim Billingham. After his narrow defeat in the Derby, Fearsophonic returned to the track for the Betfred Select Stakes and was made the 5-2 joint favourite with kennel companion Bandicoot Topoki. Charlie Lister's team was completed by Farlow Reason.
They're racing and away they come, and Crown Rover broke just ahead of Farlow Reason, who now surges for Bandicoot Topoki on the inside. Here's Windy Miller now, laying down a challenge and goes to the front. Windy Miller, Capra Boss is up into second, then Farlow Reason challenging for that position as they run down towards home. And Windy Miller has it, Farlow Reason a length and a half down in second, then Capra Boss, they're clear of Bandicoot Topoki. They come down towards the home straight. Windy Miller out in front here for Pat Rosney as they drive towards the line. Windy Miller by a length from Farlow Reason. Windy Miller wins the Betfred Select Stakes.
At Romford, Go Big Hitter won the Champion Stakes for Dean Childs. Charlie Lister supplied half the field for the East Anglian Derby at Yarmouth, a race that Charlie had plundered 9 times before.
And it's Fearsophonic. Surely he won't be caught up the home straight this time round. Fearsophonic leading towards the winning line. Fearsophonic, magnifique!
An amazing 10th East Anglian Derby for Charlie Lister and a 1-2-3 in the final. In the Laurels at Bellevue, Sunoak Crystal won it for the ladies, trained by Julie Calvert, whilst another female trainer was making a name for herself, Diane Henry, and 10 large down making all in the Northern Puppy Derby final.
The William Hill St Ledger was next on the horizon, and Mark Wallace sent out another strong classic team to Wimbledon for the Stayers' crown.
Winning the Derby was very special. I always felt that we had a good chance of winning the St Ledger with the squad of dogs that we had. They'd just started coming really good over 6 bends, the likes of Corrig Vieri, Droopy Zack, and really Kind of Easy was the new kid on the block. And as much as we thought he would stay, we tried him over Coventry's tough 6 bends a couple of weeks before, and he ran very, very well, and that convinced us to put him in the St Ledger, and it was a great decision.
Away we go, racing up towards the first bend at 6, Kind of Easy, who sprung out in front. 2 Westmead Wings now is rushing up in second place. After these comes back in third, Droopy Zack. So as they go around the first 2 bends, it's Kind of Easy for Mark Wallace. That's got a fantastic start, leading here by 2.5 lengths over Westmead Wings, back in second. After these comes Droopy Zack. Towards the rear at the moment, Swift Messenger, also Fraser's clone, and right at the back is Laurie's Oxenford as they go down the far side. It seems to be easy peasy for Kind of Easy. Some 4 lengths clear here from kennel companion Droopy Zack. They come round the final bend. It's Kind of Easy leading here, but Droopy Zack sees coming. They come up towards the winning line. Kind of Easy, oh my word! Kind of Easy and Droopy Zack. It's gone to a photo finish. It's a Mark Wallace result, but which way?
Coming round the last bend, it looked like there was only going to be one winner in Droopy Zack, but to Kind of Easy's credit, if anybody watches the race again, those last 3 or 4 strides, he really dug deep and stuck his neck out.
We're still waiting.
There's a roar. Trap 6, Kind of Easy's been announced the winner. There we go, there's some jubilant fans for Kind of Easy. Marvellous scene. Ah, yes, the Kind of boys are there, kissing in the middle of the terraces. Well done. It's been easy. It wasn't easy, lads. I promise you, it wasn't easy.
Kind of Easy and Droopy Zack both lined up in the Yorkshire St Ledger at Doncaster, where they were beaten by 33-1 outsider Cable Smiley, Etonian Lee Gifkins. Lenson Bolt had won an all-aged Kent Derby at Sittingbourne as a pup and the Romford Puppy Cup. He showed Sky viewers that he was the real deal by breaking the track record at Wimbledon. Verherner Best returned to his best with an all-the-way win in the All-England Cup at Newcastle, a race he'd won in 2008.
Incredibly, Mark Shear stepped up another gear with the emergence of new superstar Eye on the Storm. He racked up a number of wins, including big race success here in the Puppy Classic at Nottingham, delighting not just Mark, but the dog's owner, John Keefe.
John's a big supporter of ground racing, and he's spent a lot of money on grounds that, to be fair, not everything turns out great. I think Eye on the Storm has come at the right time for him, and he is a dog who's just a natural athlete. What he's done the last 3 or 4 months has really amazed me, and it's capped off our year in fine style, and without a shadow of a doubt he's a worthy anti-post favourite for next year's Derby.
It was another Nottingham event on the table now with the Betfred Eclipse, the target for Eye on the Storm. It was Wallace versus Lister again, the two great rivals going head to head. Could Eye on the Storm overcome his wide draw to beat Lister's duo of Jordan Solutions and Fierce Symphonic?
Here comes the hare for the Betfred Eclipse. There they go. They race up towards the first bend. And 4, Jordan Solution tries to make the bend. But 5, Eye on the Storm goes around the outside. Fierce Symphonics in trouble. Got checked there as they head down the far side. It's Eye on the Storm by 3.5 lengths here for Mark Wallace. A gap back to 4. Jordan Solutions in second. After these comes 2, Fierce Symphonic, and then comes 3, headed on Ellis. But as they come round the final bend, it's a power-packed performance from Eye on the Storm, who picks up the Betfred Eclipse for 2009 and wins in style.
From one white and black dog to another as Boulevard won the Essex Vase for young trainer Chris Cronin, his first Category 1 success. And the year came to a close with the Bitches Classic The Oaks at Wimbledon, won by Shaw's Dilemma.
They come round his second last bend, and it's Freedom Emma, of course, in the ownership of Stuart Lockhart. What a dream this would be if you can hold on for 2. Shaw's Dilemma's coming up to the inside. Shaw's Dilemma's just got there. Shaw's Dilemma has won the WilliamHill.com Oaks final for 2009.
But for Mark Wallace, after his achievements in 2009 with that Derby and St Ledger double, is there pressure to do it all again in 2010?
I suppose in a way you could look at it and think, you know, expectations going to be high for next year, but I don't see it that way. I just feel like the year we've had, I'm not going to be under any pressure next year. There's no way you could possibly beat this year, and if you did, it'd be some achievement. But as long as the dogs run well and we do the best we can, hopefully we can keep injuries away. And because some of these dogs are so exciting, there's not many dogs in ground racing at the moment. I feel that people would genuinely go out and say, I want to go and watch that dog run. But I think in Droopy Zach, Eye on the Storm, Kind of Ready, genuinely people want to go out and see those dogs race, and that's what excites me, and hopefully they'll have great years next year, plus many others as well.
Mark Wallace will be hunting more big prizes in 2010, and you can follow the action here on Sky Sports. Our Dogs programme will be back on the 14th of January, whilst our first live broadcast will come from Hall Green, the Betfair Prestige, on Tuesday the 19th. More live coverage in the early part of February with the Ark and the Springbok. For all the latest info on your local track, visit our website, thedogs.co.uk. From all of us here on the Dogs programme, we wish you a happy, healthy and prosperous new year.
The Dogs, in association with the Greyhound Board of Great Britain.